Hi, I'm Dan. Thanks for checking in on Dimgaard. We completed another successful Kickstarter. It was Dimgaard Creatures Volume 1, 60 new D&D 5th edition creatures based upon several of the existing player races. And I wanted to thank everyone who participated in that Kickstarter, was supporting that Kickstarter, this release. And I also wanted to kind of give an update on what's ahead so that folks can adjust their expectations accordingly. So originally, when we came back in, the goal was to have one content release a month. And that was ambitious. I knew that was ambitious, but that was... And we've done that the first several months, but that's putting a lot. That's very ambitious, and it's putting a lot of stress upon our organizational structure. So we are going to have to slow that down just a little bit. So the original release plan was in August. The August release was going to be a set of Dimgaard magic items. We think those are one of the most useful, interesting, and elements of the Dimgaard campaign. It is the driver of so much in the Dimgaard campaign. The Dimgaard magic items. We have that unique mechanic where to create a permanent magic item, you have to sacrifice a sentient creature, and that leads to all sorts of effects within the campaign. A lot of storylines, or at least B lines. We've never had a primary storyline based upon that, but there are lots of, like even within the one we're currently working now. There's like a underlying effect of that. So that's next, and that is still going to be next, except that it's probably going to be late August before we get that ready to go. The real next milestone that we're working towards is getting an updated, rewritten, re-edited, remastered, I guess you'd call it if you were in the music industry, version of the Drow Conspiracy ready to go. And we have that slated for October, and in between the magic items and the Drow Conspiracy, we had planned to release a compendium of primary NPCs with like a bunch, like something like 100 NPCs that we had. We're pulling them from all of our historic Dimgaard campaigns and standalone adventures and all the places where we had these interesting NPCs, and we said, "Oh, we're gonna put that into a rogues gallery type thing." And I do think that would be useful. Like that sort of thing comes in really useful for whenever I'm running Dimgaard, at least. Whenever players sort of head off on that, they're like, "Oh, well, let's just go explore this undocumented part of town." And you're like, "Oh, okay. Well, I need some NPCs of this type, right?" And then I remember, "Oh yeah, I had a noble back there that I can pull those out of and use them to sort of run to create ad hoc encounters." Mostly role-playing, right? Almost always role-playing encounters in response to unexpected player decisions. But I don't think that's as much utility as like the magic items. And if we were to inject that between, it would push back the Drow Conspiracy from October probably to November. We just don't have we're not getting the content ready for release at the pace I was expecting, or hoping for, is a better idea. So to get Drow Conspiracy out in December, we're going to have to push the Rogues Gallery, the NPC Compendium, back to a later point. So that's the plan. So late August, we will have the Dimgaard magic items, and then either we may go ahead and just go with the original hard date of October. But if it's done earlier, we may get the remastered Drow Conspiracy out a few weeks earlier than we'd planned. But maybe not. Maybe we're going to go ahead and set that for October, and because I think there's going to be a little bit of bandwidth freed up there, and then use that to kind of get ahead of the game, revamp the website, stuff like there are several things that are on our agenda but we still, right now, the expectation is to get Drow Conspiracy released in October, and but rather than have two subordinate releases between now and then, the magic items and the NPC Compendium, we are just going to have the magic items release. So again, I want to thank everyone who has made the re-entry of Dimgaard successful to this point, and encourage folks to get involved in whatever capacity you want to, get on our mailing list or join our Discord channel, or just engage me when you see me in any of the social media that I'm active on. Any of that is great. And I will see you. I will continue to release weekly content around D&D. It's not necessarily specific to Dimgaard. It's usually, I play a lot, DM a lot, and then each week there's at least something that comes up that I think that was an interesting thing. I should put out a 15-minute video on that. So that's where we're at. Thanks again, and I hope you keep supporting Dimgaard and share it with your friends.